Right then, so Saturday morning, it is the Universal show. And I tell you what, every week we've been blessed with an artist inside the studio. And I tell you what, this week is a good one. They're all been good. I'm not saying that they're not all been good, but this one's especially a good one. I grew up listening to this guy, and it's something that's a blessing to have in the studio. Could you introduce yourself, please, this morning?
Yo, it's Kano.
Kano, in the building. I'll tell you what, this is crazy. So how's it going, bro? How you doing this morning?
Yeah, all good, man. All good. Just cracking on, working, grinding. Feel fresh. New music out. Album ready to drop. Live.
This is wicked, man. So what we like to do on the Universal shows, we like to break it down. You know, let's go into a bit of history and all that type of stuff because, you know, you got a lot to talk about, you know, and a lot of people, some people that may not know who you are as well. So this is some insight to them as well. So give the listeners some information, you know, how long you've been in the game for, where it all originated, all that stuff. Kano himself.
Yeah, I've been here a while now. It's my 5th album. So first album came out 2005, but, you know, prior to that was kind of knocking around on the East London pirate radio scene. So yeah, that's kind of where it all started for me. And yeah, it's been a long journey up to this point, but you know, an eventful, exciting, and creative one. So yeah, just glad to be here on the 5th album. Still doing what I do. You know, ready to bring lyrics to the forefront, tell my story, and let people know who I am.
So we're gonna get to obviously the new material just in a little bit, because I know we're not too long for time and all that stuff. But you know, Kano himself, when did you first enter the scene itself?
Well, I started spitting around, you know, 15 or something like that. Like making songs, making tunes. I think I made Boys Love Girls when I was 15. So yeah.
Boys Love Girls, 15 years old.
Yeah, and it wasn't like a scene as we know it. It was just a couple of MCs doing their thing, you know. Like just kind of at the back end of the garage scene, and we was like, yeah, doing our thing. You know, Wiley was, you know, one of the key ones that kind of, you know, encouraged, you know, this sound and us to do our thing. But Lethal B was around, Dizzy was around, DWE was a big fan of, you know, he was around. Yeah, so it was a few people, you know, they had Skepta and that over North London. But yeah, it's great to see what it's become.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Do you feel like, do you sit back and go, you know, get kind of overwhelmed by the fact that a lot of people actually look up to, you know, yourself as one of the guys that inspired them to create what they're doing right now?
Yeah, it's mad. I mean, it's good, you know. It's partly what I'm here for, you know. I realized that after a while, you know, that we could, you know, inspire the next, you know, kid out there to want to write lyrics, to want to MC, to want to make music. And even if it's not music, just to be creative, to follow their dreams, follow their path, it can be done, you know. So it's definitely something I'm proud of, really proud of. And I think now we're seeing a generation that is, you know, well, kind of grew up on us, you know what I mean? Because we grew up on some UK music, which was like jungle and that. But it was a lot of American hip-hop, and me personally, like Jamaican ragga music and that. But these kids that are coming up now, when they was young in school and whatever, they was listening to like us.
That's it.
You know, which is it's a big thing.
It's definitely a big thing. I mean, because I mean, right now, I mean, the UK scene is really bubbling when it comes to, we'll say, grime music, rap music, especially UK hip hop, pop. Like it's coming through, because there is a difference between hip hop and grime. Am I correct there?
Yeah, it's kind of feels like it's. I mean, to me, there was always a clear difference, but it feels like more than ever it's merged a little bit. You know what I mean? Like you look at an artist like get gigs, and it feels like lines are becoming blurred. You know, or you listen to the Section Boys, and people still put them in, you know, the grime bracket, but you know, we probably see them as not grime artists, but the wider audience kind of boxes it all together. That's
it. I mean, I find, because it's interesting. The other day, my little sister was telling me, you know, oh, have you heard about this guy called Kano, blah, 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 grime artist, da, da, da. And I was like, yeah, she's just kind of like getting into that kind of scene.
Okay.
And I'm like, but you know, a lot of his music from back in the day was over kind of hip-hop beats as well, because he's a very versatile rapper.
Oh.
And she goes, is it the same? Isn't it the same? That's what she was asking me. Because if it's a UK sound, it should be grime, right? That's what a lot of younger
what
ones
they
are
think.
thinking.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm starting to find.
Yeah.
So that's why I always break through. I mean, especially on my show, because I specialize in hip hop. You know, that there is a difference when it comes to it. You know, the BPM is a big thing that kind of identifies that.
Yeah, it kind of, you know, it does. But yeah, with me personally as an artist, I don't like to put any limitation on, you know, my creativity and what I can do over different beats, you know. As I said, like my early stuff, my first album was some 140 BPM, which is kind of the typical grime tempo now. But, you know, you had hip-hop stuff on there as well that was at a slower BPM. And now, as I said, like the lines are kind of blurred, but, you know, it's important for me to just get my point across, and however that is, you know, I've got a track out now called ENDZ, and it's like a slower kind of hip-hop tempo. But, you know, it doesn't mean I can't do the free wheel ups, which is like a hard, upbeat 140 tempo as well.
Exactly, and that's the thing. I mean, there were some of the lyrics inside the song which you said it's not 140, but it's still hard. Something like that. I'm not gonna rap it.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna do it in front of you. Come on, man. I wouldn't rap on radio anyway. But so growing up now, who were your people that you looked at and you was inspired by? Because the US scene was like, that was a golden era in the 90s.
Yeah, but I still looked up to like UK lot. Like, I mean, I'm a big fan of like Shy FX and what he was doing when I was young. And, you know, still great
so
producer
like the
now.
Levy's, that type of sound?
Yeah, just more like Shy FX, like the jungle era. Like, I kind of was into it, and he was like the one for me. And then it was like Pay As You Go, Wiley in particular, Plague, Heartless Crew, you know, Mighty Mo and Bush, like crazy. And then like DEE, like he was, you know, one of my biggest inspirations, and he was like from up the road, Forest Gate, so he was one that I was super into. But other than that, I was listening to Biggie and Snoop Dogg, a fan of Nas as well. Dre. Yeah.
So it's fair to say that you was like, you know, that lyrics was kind of a thing that you maybe listened to a bit more. Was it the lyrics that was kind of drawing you into these artists?
Lyric. I'm always drawn to lyrics, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm always trying to, you know, get better as a writer.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was always my thing, what I brought to the game, you know. Lyrics and delivery and flow and all of those things. I never really had like club bangers and like bare of them. I mean, I've had my fair share over the years, but it's always been more about like the lyrical content.
So how important is versatility then when it comes down to an artist? Your opinion on it?
I think it's cool. It's definitely like a box ticked. But then you got some artists that ain't so versatile, but they're so like unique in what they do, and it makes them, you know. But then you got, I mean, for versatility, like someone like Vybz Kartel, you know what I mean, like super versatile. Then you got like someone like a DEE that like does his thing. And just stays true to him and does exactly that. You know what I mean? When you go to him for a certain thing. And but for me, I've always been naturally versatile. Maybe that's because, you know, I'm eclectic in what I listen to and listen to loads of different styles, and a big fan of hip hop for the lyrics, big fan of dancehall for melody and energy, and a big fan of like grime and garage for vibe, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I've kind of, you know, like to have a bit of everything
involved in that, because at the same time, obviously, you made tunes like Brown Eyes, which is kind of was a girls' tune and everything. Girls love that tune. And then you have, you know, your hardcore tunes as well. So that's like, that's showing, because I find right now in this scene right now, even though girls do love grime, obviously it's not really a genre. It's like being romantic or talking about a girl in a romantic way kind of thing in that sense. So as we're leading up now, so we've gone through some of that info, you got some new material that's come out and been released. Now the ENDZ tune, we're going to talk about that as well. Something that I've been playing on the show from a couple of weeks back.
Oh, sick.
Bruv, wicked tune.
Respect, bro.
Yeah. That's what I want to hear, especially like to fit into the show when it comes down to hip hop.
Yeah.
Fits into the show perfectly.
Yeah.
You got a video out to that as well?
Yeah, I got a video out to ENDZ. Yeah, you can go and check that one out. Yeah.
Yeah. So break down the tune itself then, or is it kind of self-explanatory?
Well, it is. It's kind of like it's just a real, you know, it's just like me, my life, where I'm from. It's quite introspective. It's over I don't know if you call it mid-tempo or hip-hop beat, piano-driven. Mikey J produced it. And for people that know me well, it reminds me of like a layer cake or something like that, you know what I mean? And it's just, just a real track, real honest, not sugarcoating anything, just, you know, straight to the point. This is just me and my life.
Wicked. How important is longevity in the game to you, like in that sense? Because, you know, there's a lot of people that come up and they're in it for the charts kind of thing. And sometimes you see names come and just go in that sense. They hit the charts and then they just go. Yeah. Like, you've kind of always been there in the background. And as you said, 5 albums. How long has it's been? About 10 years, right?
Since my first album, yeah.
Since your first album, you know, and you've always been there in the background as a name that people kind of look up to always. What's your thought on like longevity and everything? Did you think that you would get this far from early on?
Yeah, I probably did. You know,
I like that.
Yeah. I was like, I'm all, you know, I want to be another 10. You know what I mean? That's the way I approach the game.
Yeah.
Some people seem to be here for, you know, whatever they can grab at the moment. Some people are really into the hype and the thing, you know, very much like of today. But I like to make music for, like, you know, for now, but I want to listen back in 10 years and still be proud of it. So that's why I put so much into my albums, and it's very important, like the whole body of work, and that it's, you know, cohesive and just a, you know, real strong material, because I want to be performing like in 10 years time, like those songs, and be proud of them, you know?
It's quality over quantity, basically, in that sense.
Yeah, definitely. Well. It's very much like quality over quantity, but although I think I've put out a lot of music as well.
You have?
You know?
Yeah,
I just don't think it's all been as consistent. But if you look at an artist like career of 10 years like mine is, and I've got like 5 albums, about 7 mixtapes, bare other tunes in between, loads of features and many tours. Like, I've done quite a lot.
You've done a lot, man.
But I just haven't done it every single year, you know? And this has been the longest kind of break between albums, and I think that's what makes it feel like I'm not putting out as much material. But, you know, I feel like the material just has to be right. I don't want to put it out for the sake of it.
Yeah. You know? It speaks for itself, you know, something that comes out, you know, it's better than it. You know, there's a lot of bubblegum music that's been coming out. You know, you get the flavour for it and you just chuck it away. Especially like coming from, if we're talking about the US and stuff like that, that southern scene that all came out, that trap scene, you know, it's all kind of faded away because it come in very quickly. I know a lot of UK guys are jumping on that tempo now, that really slow BPM. Well, when it's doubled up, it's still 140 in that sense. But, you know, it kind of just comes and goes very quickly. You know, and that's why I say of quality over quantity in that sense. Also, the album's supposed to drop
4th of March.
4th of March.
Yeah.
So next week, guys, you can cop that album. What were you expecting from the album?
Just like good material. You can pre-order it now as well. If you pre-order it right now, you will actually get ENDZ and you'll get free wheel-ups straight away. But yeah, the album is just like a real personal album, quite autobiographical. Just good music, enough energy on there, enough bangers, but still a lot of depth.
Yeah.
Stories you never heard before.
Yeah.
Me opening up. Very musical. Just like, it's just I don't know. I feel like I feel fresh.
Wicked.
I feel like it's like first time again. You know what I mean?
Nice one.
Yeah, I'm really proud of this.
No, that's good. That's good, man. I'm looking forward to hearing it, man. I'm sure a lot of people are looking forward to hearing it as well.
Yeah, that's been a question every for the last 5 years. When's the next album? When's the next album?
But this is it. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I said it before about, you know, you haven't pushed out so much, obviously, in the last 5 years. Yeah. What have you been doing in between? A lot of touring and gigging?
I've been kind of making this album for the last 3 years, you know. And before that, I was filming Top Boy, which was another 2 years.
Yeah.
There was a year before that where I kind of done a lot of touring with Gorillaz and that, a world tour. So I've been kind of occupied, but this is I would have liked it to come out sooner, but just weren't ready.
Right
they weren't
time.
ready. And I think that's feels like the right time.
Yeah. Do you prefer recording in the studio or being on stage and doing?
I like both, but I'm a studio guy. I love being in the studio. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I love it. I could just stay there for forever.
Well, this is interesting because, again, comes down to the subject of, like, the charts, stuff like that, people that want to come into it for the fame, you know. If you like being in the studio, you kind of like that feel, that vibe, then it kind of shows in that sense that, you know, you're in it for the music, the quality of the sound and everything that you're going for, rather than being that guy on the stage, hands up in the air all the time. Because a lot of people do it for that.
Yeah. I mean, that's all good. It's like, it's amazing to go and perform music that you love and you spent time crafting, and you know what I mean, you see people's faces and their reaction to it. But yeah, like it's not about mainstream success at any cost.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all great. We all want to do big shows and have songs on the radio and have like chart success and whatever, but it's a bit more special when it comes from the heart, you know.
Wicked. So, Buzz Radio, the Universal Show. We got Kano in the building, and we're just gonna start to wrap up right now. So, the album's supposed to be dropping 4th of March.
4th of March.
That's it. You've heard it from the man. You've heard it from the man itself. So pre-order now, all that stuff. Wicked.
Yeah.
So it's a pleasure having you in the building, bro.
Thank you very much.
That's all right, man. Short and sweet. So what we like to do, if you can introduce your single that we're gonna get on. We're gonna get on some other tunes. What tunes should we get on from yourself as well? Because you know what, it's Kano in the building. I'm excited right now. So we're gonna get on some tunes as well from yourself. What should we kick off with?
What brand new from this? You gotta play ENDZ.
ENDZ is coming.
You gotta play Free Wheel Ups.
All right then.
Yeah.
You got it.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. So this is Kano. You're gonna hear some tunes off my new album, and that's called Made in a Manor. Thanks for having me, bro.
Not a problem, man. Bless up.
Sweet.